Hey, good morning, everybody. Got my coffee and just want to share something that's been on my mind lately. But first, as the mug says, coffee. Recently, I was having a conversation with my friend Seth, and he dropped something on me that was pretty impactful. We were talking about identity, and he said he brought the point. He's like, when the Kansas City Chiefs last year had the Super Bowl trophy, when they had it in their hands, right? They had that trophy in their hands. Do you think they were scared of the 49ers? I was like, well, no. Like, obviously, they already got the trophy, right? And he was like, man, that's us. We're the Chiefs. We got the trophy. Jesus did it for us. He got it back for us. Our power, our identity, our authority, all that. And we have it. But we're still scared of the enemy. And he's like, it's interesting. And I saw something when we were talking the next morning. Um, there was a bunch of us, and we were talking about different things. And I saw this vision. Jesus was like kind of in the middle of us, and he was walking over to the enemy, and the enemy was just looking big and just huge. And I was just like, oh man, like that's pretty awful looking, right? And he had something in his hands, but I couldn't really tell what it was, but he had it. And like Jesus just really calmly just walked up to him, looked right at him, just kind of like, I just looked at him for a second. And the enemy was just like towering over him, right? Or Jesus was just standing there, and the enemy was just trying to make himself look as imposing as possible. And and Jesus didn't do anything, didn't say anything. He just put his hands out like that, and just kind of just went, like when you clear your throat, like when you're getting someone's attention or something like that. And he just had his hand out, didn't do anything, just looked at him, cleared his throat, like, and the enemy just looked right at him. And what he had in his hands, he gave it to he gave it to Jesus, right? And as Jesus was turning around to walk back to where I was sitting, as soon as Jesus took it from him, and as soon as the enemy's hands came off of it, he just shrank, right? He just shrank to just this little bitty thing, barely up to the height of Jesus' shin, just a little bitty thing. And he was just with this voice, and he was pointing it at people in the room, and that's why he's called the accuser. Like he went from this big thing, and Jesus took and as soon as Jesus took it from him, and his hands came off, he just shrank to this little big thing like that. And Jesus didn't even say anything to him, didn't even acknowledge him, just took it, turned around, walked back to me, and he goes, "This is yours." Right? And when he gave it to me, I looked down at it, and it was the authority and the dominion that our Father had given us back in Genesis 1. And he just walked up, just looked at me and said, "Hey, this is yours." He didn't say anything about, "Hey, I have this, you need to go earn it," or "I have this, you need to pay me back for it," or "If you want this, you need to." No, he didn't say any of that. He didn't bring up my past. He just looked right at me and said to me, just like, "This is yours," and handed it to me. And when it was in my hands, I felt um, the love, I guess, that the Father has for us. And it was just kind of like I just felt the weight of um, of what He did when He was on the cross and was crucified, not only for me but as me. And He did that, and it was just an amazing thing that I saw. Like, and He went over there, He didn't 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 enforce His will, like didn't like have to stand up to the enemy. He knew that He was up here and the enemy was defeated, so He just walked up and was like, hey, that's mine, thank you. Turned around and gave it back to me. And it was just something that was really impactful that came from that conversation. And I just wanted to share that so that you guys understand that, what the enemy has over us is nothing. All right? He just throws these lies over us. And he's just always throwing these lies in front of us, trying to trip us up. And And it goes into the verse, the devil's walking, roaring like a lion, looking for whom he can consume, right? And it says like a lion. And then say the enemy is a lion. It says like a lion. And like is a simile, it's a comparison, right? A comparison using like or as. So it's saying he's like a lion. He's trying to act like a lion. He is not a lion. All right? He's not. He's not a lion. He's not this big powerful thing. He's just this little bitty shrimp that's just throwing accusations about you. But Jesus, he died for us, right? He took our sins, bore them on the cross, was crucified, and then resurrected. So the enemy's not this big monster, big just devil looking with horns. No, it's just this little bitty thing. But he wants you to think that he's up here, right? And that's how he keeps you down from realizing who you really are, who your royal identity is, and your purpose that the Father put in your life, because each one of us was given a special purpose before we were ever here. And so I just wanted to share that. Jesus went over there, he took it, walked back and said, "Here, this is yours." And he did that for you too. Your authority, your dominion, the love that he has for you, the good things that God has for you that the enemy stole because the enemy wants to destroy you. He took all those and he's given them back to you. And you don't have to earn it. You just have to take that gift from him. And he wants you to take it. He wants to give it to you, but he's not going to force you. You have to make that decision. So, I just ask that you think about that, meditate on that for a little bit, and ask the Father what that means for you. So that's it. Everybody, have a great day. I'm going to finish this coffee, and I'm going to get ready for work because I'm about to be late. All right. Adios.